Hey there, it's the original developer of ShiftOS here, and welcome to the last official developer dev update video. There will be more of these, but ShiftOS is now going to no longer be developed just by me. I'm handing the project over to the community and stepping back for it for reasons you can read on the forum. I'll link to that later and I'll talk about that at the end of the video, but for now let's just look at the last features I've added for 0.0.8. A lot of new programs here, pretty much 0.0.7. These were the programs you had. 0.0.8 is adding all these programs here, so there's quite a lot of 0.0.8 programs. The issue, however, is if you try and play beta 1.1 of 0.0.8 from the beginning of the game, you'll have all these programs here pre-installed on your computer. The main feature of 0.0.8 is the Shiftnet. Now, if I go to a website where you can get apps from, that is, and just remember things work a little bit differently in the Shiftnet to the real internet, shiftnet.main.appscape/home.rnp remote network page. Enter. This takes me to the Appscape website. Now on Appscape, this is where you get special programs. So for example, audio player, and BitNotes is the currency you use with this. Okay, so basically you've got a BitNote wallet. And with this BitNote wallet, it's kind of like, think of code points, but these are BitNotes, and BitNotes are a future in-game currency. You'll be able to earn BitNotes with something like, I'll show you a little example here, a BitNote digger. And this BitNote digger specifically is a free BitNote digger. So let's say I say start, and as you can see, it's currently digging BitNotes. BitNote is a term used to parody Bitcoin in real life and Bitcoin miners. So the idea is I've replaced the word coin with note because I'm thinking of money, coin and notes, and digger is a kind of another word for miner. Instead of mining, you're digging. So that's what we've got. We've got our BitNote digger. Now if I click stop here, it's deactivated now. This is how many BitNotes it's gotten. So if I go to receive, this is my special BitNote wallet address. I'm going to copy that and I'm going to paste it here with Control V. So I'm going to send the BitNotes I found with my BitNote digger to my BitNote wallet, which will increase the balance here. So the balance right now, as you can see, is 2.64028 BitNotes. Don't think of it as dollars. Don't think, oh, you've got $2.64. Think of it as if BitNotes are worth a lot more money. For example, maybe one BitNote being worth about $20 in real life. So in other words, I don't have $2.64. I've got more like $50 in this BitNote account of real world money. So in that case, the audio player would be something like $20, which is quite expensive, but this is ShiftOS. Things work crazily here. Don't worry about the exact values, but the idea is BitNotes, 10 BitNotes is a killer amount. Like, that's having a lot of money. So basically we go by 5 decimal places with BitNotes, just like you do in the real world Bitcoin currency. And one Bitcoin, I think, is about $600 right now. So if I send this to here, you watch what happens. I'm going to send 0.00034 BitNotes. Now, as you can see, this is just a surface scratcher BitNote digger. So this is just a digger grade 1, and it can only mine at this very slow speed. In future, you'll be able to download more expensive ones, which you'll have to pay for, but they will have much faster digging speeds. This one just comes free, so this is your basic one. So I'm going to send 3.4 here, and you're going to see that 2.8 change. Here we go, 3, 2, 1, and it changed. There we go. Now in transactions, you'll see I got that credit from the BitNote digger surface scratcher. Now the idea here is you want to send money to Appscape, and once you send, let's say we sent 1.0 BitNotes, and I'll just put the right amount of decimal places there. Let's say I sent 1 BitNote here, I could send it there. The deposit now button, this doesn't work yet, but it will display our Appscape BitNote address, and then you send your money to that address, paste it here, send the money in, and then once you send the money in, then you've got that money in your account. And I've just wasted a whole BitNote because that wasn't the right address, whatever was in this sandbox. There is an actual Appscape BitNote address programmed into the game, I just don't have access to it right now. Now the idea is, what you do is once you've deposited your money from the BitNote digger into your wallet and from your wallet into Appscape, then you can start buying programs. So you can buy audio player, and once you buy it, you download it, find where it's downloaded to. It would be in like a downloads folder in here somewhere. firmware. And then once you've got that downloads folder, you double click it, install it, and then it will appear, where is it, audio player. And that's the general process of how you would actually buy software from Shiftnet. And there would be a lot of different websites. This isn't the only website in ShiftOS. Ada Near is not my name. My name is actually Philip Adams, as you know. This is one of the in-game characters, and there's a reason why they have that name. The website right now isn't functional, so you can't actually press click BitNote and it'll buy. Nothing actually happens, in case you're wondering what happens when you click these buttons. That will be added by the future developers of ShiftOS. I could easily do it myself, but I've had to step down from ShiftOS. I just can't take it anymore. It takes up too much of my free time. So let's go to the info of the audio player, and I'll just go back and forward. You can see I haven't added the proper code here. You can see that the website changes when you go from page to page. So in audio player, it tells you about it. So it's got a little bit of information here, and it has system requirements. So system requirements say when you go to the Shiftorium, because as you know, the Shiftorium is where you buy all your upgrades with CodePoint, but it says you need these following requirements to install the audio player. You need to have bought the Shiftnet, and you need to have bought Grey. Now technically, that actually means there are no requirements for this program, since you actually need to buy Grey and Grey Shades if you want to buy the Shiftnet, and Shiftnet, well, you couldn't be looking at this website without the Shiftnet. So that's something, and you can go back and buy, and that just shows you a little preview of the program. So with the audio player, it says your playlist is currently empty. Check the folder icon in the bottom right corner to add some songs. So this is the folder icon. All of this is custom designed by me. I just drew these pixel by pixel in Fireworks. So I'm going to go to the file opener. I'm going to open some royalty-free music, and it's best to use royalty-free music here. I'll get this song. There we go. And I'll get this. And this, and see how I'm adding to my playlist here. Iron Bacon and this. So as you can see, this progress bar here shows how long the song is going to be and how long the song's been playing for. Now the cool thing about this is you can click to where you want it to go to in the song. Skips me to there, skips me back, and I can scrub like this, which is cool. So you can click and drag to go to whatever part of the song you want, and I can stop it from playing. Oh wait, stop. There we go. That's a stop button, and that's a play button. That's forward and backwards. And basically, once the song is finished, it will just go to the next song. So let's say you're at the end of this. Goes to the next song automatically. So you can minimize the audio player like that, and it's minimized, and you can bring it back up. As you can hear, we'll just play songs in the background. But the next program is the video player. I'll show you how this works. So let's go to video player. I'll just move these to the side. I have this mining some bit notes in the background. Here's my video player. Very similar to the way the audio player works. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to get video. I'll put this on stop for now. Okay, so let's get the Dead Island 2 trailer up.
Peggy 18.
And as you can see, it will play the trailer for Dead Island 2. Now, I have not made this trailer myself. All rights to this trailer go to the people who have made this game. And basically I'm advertising it for free within my own game. There we go. This doesn't come with ShiftOS though. So let's... Oh, and as you know, everything is resizable. So let me resize that and make it smaller. I'm just going to have to turn the volume down because I'm not sure if that song is copyrighted or not. So there we go. I've got that running in the background. So you can play music, you can watch videos. And another thing you can do, let's check out another program. You can click to different parts of the video to skip forward and backwards, so that's a cool thing about that. Next, let's look at the calculator. This is not a very exciting program, but you know, it comes with ShiftOS 0.0.8. 56 minus 3 equals 53, plus 89 equals 142. Times 2 equals 284. Let's look at what other programs have got. Let's look at the web browser. So this web browser allows you to browse the web. Now this is the real internet. This is literally what I would call the normal internet that you browse on a day-to-day basis. So basically you just type in common things that you usually would, dog, and there's some pictures of a dog. You can go on a forum, ShiftOS.net, and shaboom, you've got the ShiftOS forums right in ShiftOS itself. So that's pretty good. Now, just to show you here with this web browser, while we're here, I may as well show you the developer competition. So I'm hosting a developer competition, and I'm going to make ShiftOS, as you can see, a community-made game. Right now, the first competition is make a game for ShiftOS. So let's get into this. And here you go, you can see I'm looking for potential ShiftOS developers, and basically you have to make a game, but you've got to follow these rules, and that's a long set of rules that people, have to follow. So the idea here is make sure it's not bigger than 800 by 600, so make sure the windows are smaller. Obviously the user can resize them if it's that kind of a game which can be resized. Use a certain font just to keep everything as compatible as possible, and ensure you have a specific color set, so if you use other shades and grey in the game, make it so that has to be bought in the Shiftorium before your game is compatible. So what I'm talking about here is stuff like system requirements. For example, if your game uses pretty much every single shade, you're going to need the system requirement of limitless custom shades to run this software. Already I've gotten quite a few people making some games. One by one of the donators here, William, has made a game called Dodge, which I think is actually pretty cool. So you move this little man side to side with the mouse, and you've got to try and dodge these, and the longer you survive, the more code points you earn, similar to the Pong game we've got here in ShiftOS. So there will be a ShiftOS gaming website, not sure what that will be, that's up to the developers what they want to name that and everything. Something big here is the name changer. So what the name changer allows you to do is you can change the names of certain programs. Let's say you wanted to call the video player VLC player, and you wanted to call the web browser Firefox. If I click, and maybe this could be called iTunes, and Artpad could be called GIMP. Just changing the general names of programs in the system, which is pretty crazy, but okay, let's apply that. And the moment I did that, you'll see that this is now Firefox. This is now VLC player. This is now iTunes, and here you can even see iTunes, and down here iTunes, and all the names have been put here. Now, just changing the name of a program doesn't always make you feel as if, yes, this is iTunes now. The next step here is changing its icons. So here you can see all the different icons for each ShiftOS program. So for example here with GIMP, you can see that GIMP is really just the Artpad icon. But if you wanted to change that, let me see where I've got some icon packs here. Here we go, GIMP. So I'm going to put GIMP here instead of the Artpad icon. Apply. So upon doing this, if I open, there we go, GIMP. You can see Artpad is now called GIMP, and it's got the GIMP icon. And as you can see, where is it? The GIMP icon. Okay, I've got too many windows open to be able to see it in the taskbar, but the GIMP, trust me, it would be down there too. So you can do the same thing with Firefox. Let's get some of these programs away now, because this is a little bit too many. So let's say we want to change Firefox. Where's Firefox? Here it is, Firefox, and I'm going to give that the Firefox icon. Actually, I'll give it the small Firefox icon, just because it'll fit a bit better, because these are 16 by 16 already. So apply. You can even change the icon size here, but anyway, here we go, Firefox, and it's literally like, hey, I'm running Firefox, because you see it's got Firefox up there. Apply, and as you can see, I've now got VLC player sitting in there like that. You can also change the size of these. Let's say you wanted to change the launcher icon size to 32 and click apply. This will be pretty crazy, but as you can see, these are all now really big. Now, the thing about the icons is they look really blurry now because they're all 16 by 16 stretched out. As you can see though, the GIMP icon and the VLC player icon look absolutely perfect, and this is just what we want. Now, to get that looking so clear and perfect, you need to get a higher resolution icon. So that's why you would get higher resolution icons in here. The highest recommended is 512 by 512. Do not get any icons bigger than that, otherwise ShiftOS can become a little unstable. Not like you would actually have icons that big anyway, so yeah, that's just absolute overkill. So let's put that down to 16 by 16. You can also save and load the names of the icons and programs. I've shown you the BitNote wallet, the BitNote digger here, and let's just send that over to increase our money. 3, 2, 1, boom, got a bit more money there. We've also got, now this is a bit of a crazy one, the skin shifter. Before I do this, let's close a bunch of programs. So I'll put this here playing the video. I'll put this here. I'm doing a trailer because I don't want to put anything else there because I know there'll be a copyright issue. But let's just say, here we go, I've got my programs here. Let's see, what should we have open? I'll have the calculator open. There is a bit of bugs with this program, so we do have to be a bit cautious of it. TextPad and Terminal. Let's just have these few programs open. So with the skin shifter, what you're actually able to do is, just like the skin loader, you can choose some skins, but then you can have it automatically rotate skins. So almost like a desktop background changer, but it's changing skins as well. So let's go to my skins folder and I'll get a few skins in here and we'll have it switch between those. So if I click a skin, this is a great way to shift between skins really fast. I can click Ubuntu. Okay, sorry, there was a little bug there, but let's say I switch to Linux Mint 7 and boom, I've got Linux Mint 7. I want Whistler, boom, instantly switch to Windows Whistler. I want Windows 95, boom, instantly switch to a Windows 95 skin. I just want to show you what it looks like. If you have this on, you can actually have ShiftOS shifting skins at certain intervals. So every 5 seconds, if this would actually work without the problems, you can see that ShiftOS will continuously shift skins. So it's that skin, then it's the next skin. There's a few issues with it right now though. The speed of your computer that determines if you're going to have these issues. It's to do with the computer not disposing everything in enough time, and then once it doesn't dispose it in enough time, it disposes stuff that it wasn't supposed to dispose. It disposes a new skin too. So because I've got Fraps recording, that's causing it to be a little bit messed up. But this program is a really cool program, the Skin Shifter, as it can quickly shift between a bunch of different skins really fast. And I've had it really smooth. When I haven't been recording, I've been able to run it and do all this stuff on ShiftOS and just have the skin constantly changing. It's been really cool. So anyway, that's the Skin Shifter. Now I'm going to show you some viruses. Now viruses are what you'll get infected with when you have an in-game website called the Pirate Boat, or whatever the developers want to call it, a parody of the Pirate Bay, where you download stuff with a manager. We don't want to use the word torrent manager, we want to use another word like, who was it, someone else was going to call them a floodgate. I'm thinking, how about we call them a flood? Like, yep, download the flood file and now use a program called Floodgate to download your floods, you know. I don't know, we're thinking of a name for it, but I'm sure people will find a name for it. So basically it's a clone of a torrent manager. You download the torrents, use a manager to try and download them. The thing about the manager though is it's going to be tricky to download these programs because you've got these seeders and leeches and stuff, and you've got to make sure you download the program before all the people seeding the program just give up and the program gets old and, you know, they don't want to seed the torrent anymore, and then you've got no way to finish the download. So you're going to want to try and get a pretty fast internet connection. All of this, by the way, is not really online. It's all within the world of ShiftOS, and you don't need an internet connection to enjoy these features. So let me show you some of the viruses that are going to be infecting people's computers when they try to download programs. So I'll just open a few things. TextPad. So there we go. Those are all the programs I'm going to have up for this. So let me show you. The first program is infect 0.th. I'm going to put it at 0.th1 just because I don't want the fast version. But as you can see, the moment I did that, all the windows... It's very laggy with Fraps, but it's not usually this laggy. You would see if you ran this on your own computer, it would be butter smooth. So I'm just going to defect myself from this now. 0.heal, and that'll remove the virus for me. You'll need an actual virus scanner to remove the real viruses in ShiftOS, and there's going to be a lot more than that. Another virus that I coded was beeper.th, and I'm going to put th4. Th is the threat level. And as you can see, an annoying beeping sound is on your computer constantly. And that's really annoying, just to hear beep, 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 beep. You're going to want that virus removed as soon as possible. Especially if you want to watch videos, play music, all you can hear is beep, 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 beep. And that would drive you insane. Already I'm going insane. So let's beeper.heal. Thank God that's gone. Okay, now I'm going to show you infect mousetrap.th4. This is another one here. Now, as you can see, my mouse seems fine. I'm moving it around all the windows, and then suddenly, wait for it to happen. There we go. The mouse is now trapped in TextPad. I can put the mouse all around this TextPad window, but it is completely stuck in TextPad. Now, that wasn't a good idea. If you try to make the window bigger, it doesn't work. It pulls the window and makes it smaller. So you cannot get out of this mouse trap, the trap of the window, by trying to resize it, because all it does is you try and do that and the window just gets smaller and you're in even more of a trap. The only way to break yourself free from a trap is to bash the mouse as hard as you can, and it's really hard, but against the windows as hard as you can. Side to side, bash, 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 bash. And it may take a while. Now, this is mousetrap.threat level 4, and that's why it's so difficult to bash out. If it was threat level 1, you could bash out in like 3 hits, but you need so many hits now with threat level 4, and it's something you definitely want to get removed as fast as possible. There we go, I'm free. My mouse is now free, and it will get trapped again in about 10 seconds. So I'm going to quickly mousetrap.heal to remove the virus, and now it is gone. So there is no more virus on the computer. And with that, those are all the new features so far in ShiftOS 0.0.8. Obviously, there will need to be an updated save file in the future. There will also need to be the completed installer and downloader system, so you can download all these programs off the Shiftnet. There'll need to be the piracy website, the Bitnote website, and an in-game customization website where you can download the name changer and icon manager. But that will be it now for my official dev updates. This is now a community developed game. I'll just quickly open up Firefox to show you what the community based game is going to be like. So here I said I'm considering, but now I have considered, and it will be the actual what's going to happen. So basically there'll be a bunch of developers. They'll have a developer rank on this forum you're seeing here, the ShiftOS forum, and they will have access to the ShiftOS source code. They'll be able to upload and download the source code. There'll be some version control. I think a guy called Phillips is going to sort that out. Oh my goodness, look at my post, 777. Now remember, ShiftOS will be completely free from now on, so no one will ever have to pay for ShiftOS, but developers can say what they've worked on, and they will get donations if people choose to donate to them. So there'll be like a ShiftOS website with a list of the developers, bunch of donate buttons next to them telling them what they've done, so you can click and choose which developers do you want to donate to. I'll be up there too, because I've coded a lot of ShiftOS, made the whole base of the game here. Now the good thing about this is it's so open-ended. There could be a bunch of people who make a bunch of new programs for ShiftOS. There will be a new start menu system coming up later on in ShiftOS 0.0.9, which I might do a bit of coding for, but I won't be doing anything in 0.0.8 for that. That will allow you to have categories and full-on customized appearances for your start menu or app launcher or whatever you want to call it. So you could really make it look similar to something like the Windows XP start menu or a Linux one, whatever you want it to look like. The good thing about this being a community-based project now is you'll have a bunch of people here being able to make hundreds of programs for ShiftOS, put them all on the Shiftnet, and set Bitnote prices for them. They won't come with ShiftOS as in through the Shift Door. You actually have to go on the Shiftnet, choose what you want, download it, and that's the idea. And you can download everything if you want, but you don't have to download everything. That's up to your choice. Being able to download all these programs is separate from the main storyline of ShiftOS. So that's that. I may as well go over why I've decided to step back from the development of ShiftOS for those interested. You can read through my massive post here on the ShiftOS forums if you would like to, although it is very long, so I don't expect you to, but I'll go through the main reasons. So reason 1 was money. I'm an early childhood educator, that's my job. I'm not actually a programmer or a coder, even though I do have the ability to look. It looks like I'm using some kind of Windows Whistler right now, and I've coded all these programs within it, but I'm not actually a coder. I'm just doing this out of a hobby. This isn't my job. Coding ShiftOS, I've earned $25 worth of donations minus $5 paid power fees. I've had to pay for the ShiftOS domain name, so that's another $8 for the year. So really I've only made $12 developing ShiftOS, and a real coder would get at least $20 an hour in the real world. Most coders get $30 to $40 an hour, so really I'm looking at $12,000 is what ShiftOS would have been worth if I had been at a paid job getting paid to develop ShiftOS. So that's that there. So because I really need to be focusing on my real job rather than ShiftOS, no free time. Now, I do a lot of things. I've written books, I've made YouTube channels, I do so much stuff, and I've overloaded myself. I can't put every single second into something like ShiftOS, because I'd wake up in the morning, go to work. As soon as I've come home from work after the 8.5 hours, spend 3 hours coding, go to bed. Wake up, go to work, do coding, go to bed. Wake up, go to work, do coding, go to get. Ugh, I can't even talk about it, I'm going insane. I'm still a little burnt out from developing ShiftOS, which is why this video isn't so smooth. But yeah, that's the idea. I've got no free time, and I can't keep living like this developing ShiftOS. Now, another thing that annoys me is technology limitations. Now, first of all, I'm going to show you right away what I'm talking about here. Biggest thing here is skin shifter annoying me. I've coded it so that it changes skins each time, but the computers it's running on is saying, oh, I'm not good enough for that, I can't do that, I'm just going to have an error. That really annoys me and puts me off coding. So if you don't know what that means, I'm going to simplify that for you. Let's say if I told you to run 10 meters in 20 seconds, let's say I said that to a person, run 10 meters in 20 seconds. That is so easy. Anyone could do that. You tell someone to do that and they can do that. Now, let's say I tell you to run 10 kilometers or 20 miles in just, if you're American, that's why I threw miles in there, in just 1 second. You understand the instruction. That's something that might take a car a good 15 minutes to drive or 10 minutes to drive 10 kilometers. So a person cannot run that fast. And if you tell a person to do that, they can try, sure, but then they'll fail. They won't reach their goal. Now, this is what's actually happening in ShiftOS. I'm telling it, okay, change your skin. Now, what it's doing is it's getting all the buttons, it's getting all of these, it disposes of all the graphics in the system, loads up a new skin, and then puts all the graphics in there from a file. Now, the issue it's having here is that it can't do that fast enough. It's trying to dispose of everything, but before it's finished disposing of everything, it's then having to load the new skin because it's taking too long to dispose, and Visual Basic is like, okay, taking too long, let's do the next thing now. Then it tries to do the next thing, and when it tries to do that, it loads a new skin, but it's still disposing the old stuff. So then it'll dispose the new things that you've got. So, for example, the last things to really be applied, the title bar is kind of the graphics that goes first, but then it's doing these border edges, and so it'll load the new skin, start doing the border edges, then it'll instantly get disposed as soon as the skin's loaded, and you've got a bunch of problems. So that's putting me off developing ShiftOS a lot. But even if that bug was fixed and we found a way like to just delay it a little while or have a bit more efficient code so it can delete things faster, that wouldn't make me want to come back to ShiftOS again, because it's still just too much of my free time taken up. It's a lot of work to develop ShiftOS, and if it's community based, that means you can have 5 people working on 5 different programs, adding them in all at the same time, rather than one person working on one program at a time. Literally, ShiftOS could be developed 10 times faster here. So that is why I've given up on ShiftOS myself. But you know what? We've got a whole community of people. The forum has 111 members here. I'm sure at least 5 of them are worthy of developing ShiftOS. They can make videos for it, advertise it. More people will come. ShiftOS may even become something quite popular like Linux, not to that extent, because it is just a game, not an actual operating system, even though it can be used as an operating system that runs off Windows. It's kind of a new shell rather than an operating system. But think of it like this. Imagine if 100 people are coding 100 different programs at once, and it takes each person a month to make the program. In 1 month, 100 new programs added to ShiftOS. That would be amazing. Yes, the file size would be ridiculous, but imagine all the new programs. Someone might add a docking program, someone might add, I don't know, a skinning website, a really cool 3D game. Use DirectX for that, and you can actually have 3D games running in ShiftOS using a DirectX extension. So you could have a few games in ShiftOS up to the standard of, say, Terraria, Starbound, even Minecraft. So that would be quite interesting to see in the future. And especially, one thing that's funny is when you've got those viruses affecting your system and the windows are all moving around. Imagine trying to draw a picture. In fact, let's do it right now. I'll just open up GIMP here, and let's say you're trying to draw a picture or do something while you are infected with 0.th4, which is the fastest moving virus here. Now, imagine trying to draw something here. It's like, okay, pencil tool. Yes, wait. Pencil. Oh, missed it. Missed it. Back to this program. Pencil. I can't even select the pencil tool. Pencil tool. Is that the... Oh, there we go, I've got the pencil tool. So let's try and say you're trying to draw a face. Here we go. 1 eye, 2 eye, and a smiley mouth. See, it's really, really hard to draw because the screen is moving around, and if I just keep my mouse here, you can see that it's kind of drawing around by itself as it's being moved around. So imagine trying to interact with programs like download a virus scanner. Okay, like, you know, clicking on, okay, I want to click on the off-topic section of this forum. Here we go. Off-topic. I can't get it. See, and it's pretty much impossible, so that's why you wouldn't want to be infected with a virus like this. So anyway, main point here is if you feel you would like to be a ShiftOS developer, join in a competition. There'll be plenty more competitions in the future. These are just competitions to ensure that you're not a beginner Visual Basic person, that you actually know how to do stuff, that you could code something like ShiftOS. If you can win one of these competitions, already I know that this guy's going to win the competition. Multiple people can win this competition. It's really just make a game. Maybe 3 people might win, maybe 1 person might win. It's just or maybe no one would win. It's just almost a challenge, and if you pass the challenge, you get to be a ShiftOS developer, and then you can pretty much add a bunch of new programs you want to ShiftOS. So if you're interested, definitely join the forum, join in with the developer competition, something like that. It's been fantastic to watch ShiftOS evolve into the state it currently is, and I look forward to seeing how it evolves in the future with all these people developing it. Anyway, see you next time. Goodbye.